Hey guys. Hello everybody. So good to be here with you all. Thank you for coming. My name's Dederick. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at the Trade Desk. And we're here to talk about closing the loop between connected television and retail data. And I have to say, it's a little bit of a sentimental moment for me because February 27th, 2012 was actually my first day at the Trade Desk. So this is my 12-year anniversary today, right now.
Wow.
Thank you. And it's particularly sentimental because I'm who I'm here with, and there are no better partners to reflect on than the ones I've really gone on this journey with. I mean, I think our companies in so many ways have been connected. So I am here with Aaron Sobol, who is the head of U.S. Media, Investment and Partnerships for Unilever. Unilever was really one of the first to lean into the power of programmatic, and they were one of the first big believers in the Trade Desk, so thank you, Aaron. You've been with Unilever for the last 2 years. You've been leading media innovation. I'm excited to unpack some of those innovations today. And of course, we're joined by John Halley, who is the president of Paramount Advertising. John leads the organization that's been at the forefront of ad-supported FAST since CTV's early days, so Pluto and Paramount Plus. Paramount's been a big advocate for programmatic. For many years, they were an early adopter of UID2 and have embraced all of the solutions that our buyers have asked for. So we're going to talk a lot about that. But first, I want to reference the amazing video that we saw to introduce. You guys have an incredible partnership.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a long partnership between Paramount and Unilever. We saw some amazing moments that were really capturing some of the awesome work you've done in CTV, plus retail, plus shoppable. And we saw that you hone in on cultural moments and cultural impact. So Aaron, I want to start with you. Will you talk a little bit about the importance of cultural moments for building Unilever's brands?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jed. Thank you, Trade Desk, for having me participating today. Very excited. We think about cultural moments, particularly around sports right now, is a really large area that we're leaning in that we feel can be a big bet for our future marketing plans, is where we can anchor conversations with our customers in the future. Why? Sports have obvious impact and incredible scale. I love saying the stat around, 89 or 90 of the top 100 programs are sports.
Yep.
90% of the top 350 or so are sports. Sports are something that bring together communities in the United States.
True.
And that is a reason that we want to be a part of that. There's incredible fandom that comes together around that. And out of those top 100, if it wasn't sports, it's other tentpoles. So we still know that those are a place that communities come together, and we want to serve the communities.
Well, you've done an awesome job at associating individual brands and their audiences with sports and teams that they care about. And obviously, I got to talk about, for anybody here who watched the Super Bowl, which I'm guessing is at least all of you, we saw a really funny commercial where Kate McKinnon, the amazing Kate McKinnon, did a spot for Hellman's, where Kate McKinnon's cat learned how to say mayo, and Kate McKinnon's cat became very famous. Kate McKinnon's cat dated Pete Davidson and dumped Pete Davidson. So that was an awesome one. But one thing Aaron has told me about is that retail and retail measurement and retail data have played an important part in measuring efficacy and performance. So can you talk about performance change when you bring retail data in?
Absolutely. So one thing we always like to communicate, especially when we're working with our agency partners, is that we believe that all media is performance media.
Yes.
We don't want to have a narrow thought of one channel or two channel. We want to take advantage of all the opportunities that exist out there to advertise. So there's tremendous opportunity right now of leveraging data and measurement of our retail partners to help prove out the performance. We've always known video is a powerful driver of business results, but now we get measurement that is more speedy and helps us learn almost in real time of how it's doing, and then we could take those learnings relatively in real time and optimize off them. So we've been utilizing retail media within retail data within video for quite some time, but we're incredibly pleased of one of our most recent programs that we did with Paramount and John's team, partnering with Walmart Connect, and we are seeing some really, really strong results of video's effectiveness with leveraging the retail data. So we're quite pleased with that, and something that we want to continue to learn and push.
Amazing. Yeah, I agree with what you said. All media is performance media. In many ways, the opportunity of streaming, the opportunity of digital, all the signal coming in, but also the retail data becoming available really opens up the possibilities for what premium video, premium content can do and how it can be valued. So John, I'll go to you. Really, you guys have done so much in the last 5 years, including the launch of Paramount Plus. Will you talk about the evolution into the digital environments and how television and connected television evolves into more than just awareness and upper funnel?
Yeah. I mean, we're in the middle of a incredible transformation in terms of the way that people read different advertising formats. Look, the early days of digital video was just TV transported with better targeting. It's still kind of viewed as a top of the funnel product. Connected TV is not that, right? Connected TV does not look like its linear predecessor. It is a full funnel product that can deliver both targeting and attribution and optimization. I think the point earlier, all marketing is performance marketing. That's a sentiment that you're actually going to see inside of the way that products get put together and brought to market. This is not a storyline of a couple of successful, marketing executions. This is a path towards the future.
Yep.
And what you're going to see from players like Paramount is more in the way of always-on attribution, optimization capabilities, and really behaving simultaneously as a top of the funnel, mass scale product combined with all of the agility and advantages of performance marketing. This is enabled, by the way, through development of technologies. Data is more actionable than it used to be because of clean rooms.
Yep.
We have unified identifiers, which I know is close to the Trade Desk's heart. But there are a variety of unified identifiers. In other words, this is a convergent product. You can now manage campaigns across the linear and digital footprint because we know that this person over here is the same as that person over there, so we can manage things like frequency and understand some of the top line KPIs. But look, the idea, what Aaron just mentioned, which is getting a return on ad spend metric for every dollar that you're spending on premium video. That's a thing that did not normally exist. And we look about the efficiency of video campaigns, large-scale premium video campaigns used to all be about impression delivery and reach and frequency metrics. And to understand what they're doing to business outcomes is critical. Kelly Metz said the other day on I think a Mike Shields podcast, she said, we're not interested in measuring cookie-based outcomes. We're interested in measuring real outcomes. And I think that's a message as a publisher you have to take very, very seriously, and you need to invest in the things that matter. And I think what we're hearing from advertisers, what we're hearing from Unilever, what we're hearing from a number of partners is, this is the path forward. And we're all gonna, this is the direction of the business. We're super excited about it because our stuff works. I think that Aaron referenced the executions we've done inside of Walmart Connect, which have been incredibly effective. By the way, if you think about what Walmart Connect plus Paramount Plus offers, that's a viewer who's in a viewing environment that has been brought there through Walmart Plus. They have full signal on who that user is. They have easy transaction inside of that viewing environment, and it brings all kinds of opportunities to the advertiser in terms of not just mid-roll, but also actionable items. And Aaron and I were talking a few weeks ago about the possibilities around couponing, right? Things that you would normally think would exist in a physical environment. This is a real, I think, revolution in terms of the way marketers think about how they allocate share between different media formats, because all of that is starting to merge.
Right.
And it is a very exciting development in premium video.
Yeah, that's so well said. Shout out to Kelly Metz. Also, just, we talked backstage, and it occurring to me, I mean, reach and frequency is still obviously how we start, but that's been all we've done. So much of television and so much of high funnel and awareness has been all about reach and frequency. And now we have the opportunity for effective, efficient reach and frequency, performant reach and frequency, which you both talked about. All reach is performance, and all advertising is performance advertising. So Aaron, will you talk about how do you use this signal? Because we're talking about applying all sorts of new metrics and capabilities and a level playing field for many of the networks and premium content. Then you're getting more real-time feedback, right? You're getting like real-time. You're not waiting for an MMM. You're not waiting for a study to come out weeks after a campaign. You're actually getting insight that you're able to turn into campaign optimization. So will you talk about how you use this flywheel of data and insights for your advantage?
Of course. So one, there's so much more data that exists, and it exists with speed. We want to use that to help build and make more informed plans. So it's helping from the beginning of the process so we make a very smart and strategic plan. But we also, and this is one of the most exciting developments, is how we could use this throughout the live campaigns.
Yeah.
You're not waiting a year to say, what did I learn from that campaign? How can it inform a buy?
Yeah.
You'd be looking at stuff from daily, weekly, monthly, and use that to inform buys. So one from building better plans, smarter plans, more data-driven plans, but also throughout the optimization is really key. But I also wanted to push on the fact that while we're focusing a lot on retail data and retail measurement, it's really let's take a step back and think about the opportunities of convergence and commerce and media.
Yes,
and
right.
Retail data is one amazing path to leverage its privacy-safe data, 100% opted in. That's something that's really critical for the future. But think about when Paramount Plus launched and the ad innovations and the different formats that you're allowed to take advantage of.
Yep.
In the living room, there's been commerce capability for years.
Right, exactly. It's not a new thing. We were talking about this earlier, right? Paramount Plus launched 3 years ago. Unilever was a sponsor of that, was a launch partner, and there was, there were shoppable interactive units associated with that. I do think what's different though is the amount of data that's actionable now, right?
Yes.
In the last 3 years, right? There was an issue. We always talk about the privacy landscape is always it's only going in one direction, which is more restrictive. But things like federated clean rooms, right? There are technologies that are now available that weren't before that I think are going to really unlock a lot more of the capabilities of connected TV. But Unilever's always been out on the edge of this, in terms of like innovation. And they'll be first. They're just as you're first doing in really doing the Walmart Connect executions with us at scale. It'll be first in some of these other applications as well.
Yeah. Everybody's mentioned the evolution of privacy and identity. John, you were saying it feels like it's becoming more restrictive. I think in many ways it's also just becoming more responsible, and that enables better quality data to come online and be interoperable. If we take it more seriously, if we take consumer consent and education empowerment more seriously, suddenly you've got the Walmart data and the Paramount data online and able to interact.
Yeah.
So I think there's two ways to have that identity conversation. One is, oh, it's just going to be 30% worse. Don't worry about it. And the other way is, look at all of the unbelievable things that are now possible. Here we are talking about applying sales data to all of the incredible things, to a Super Bowl campaign, to all of these incredible activations you guys do. So John, I'm going to stay with you. Your team has a great reputation, as do you, for listening to what buyers are asking you for and responding in kind. So will you talk about how Paramount thinks about using data and signals to ensure that those advertisers can measure holistically?
So we have a really basic philosophy, which is that it's not us, it's not up to us to tell you how you activate, right? It's up to the buyer, it's up to the advertiser to tell us what their data and infrastructure preferences are. And it's up to us to make those happen to the degree we can, right? Now, one of the issues, as we all know, anyone who's looked at a LumaScape would tell you that there are too many vendors in the mix. There's too much choice and opinion in terms of the ways to get to an outcome. And we're starting to see the business consolidate a bit around a few big players. That's good for all of us because it means more scale for someone on Aaron's side of the biz. And, it frankly means more efficient onboarding and activation of whatever the workflow shall be when you're a publisher, right? Mm-hmm. It's a real challenge, I would say, to hold this position, right? It'd be much easier if we were just kind of, and this is an advantage of a walled garden, versus like the open web. And Trade Desk, obviously, very important player in organizing principles around the open web, right? Yeah. We need, let's say, centers of capability to, as a business, orient ourselves around. A lot of what I've done throughout my career is participate in the formation of standards bodies so that we can collectively make more efficient the process of preference in advertising activation. We can't do 100 things, but we can do 4, right? And we have taken that on in terms of new currency. We've taken that on in terms of DSP and SSP partners. We've taken that on in terms of DDL bodies like OpenAP.
Yep.
So it is definitely a journey. I think bringing it back to where retail media is. This is one of those places where I think there is naturally kind of a handful of big scale players that can bring a ton of value.
Similar
here.
to television.
It's not endless, although every now and then you look at you say, really, that's a retail media network? Like, kind of shrug your shoulders. But the reality is, and you can think of these guys, in your head, like it's already a consolidated business, more or less.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so, look, it's I think for us, that's the tightrope we walk, right? We want to be enablers.
Yep.
We're not dictators.
Yep, well said. Many of us were here last year. One of my favorite conversations I had at this event was about the conversation of cost versus value in biddable environments and in connected television. I think it's the same in retail media. So many new things are now possible. Buyers are having this big question, what is this worth? How much is it? And we were so used to buying fixed CPMs. Now more and more you're doing variable price, biddable CPMs in premium environments. So Aaron, I will ask you, when you think about cost and value in premium environments in terms of bringing retail or customer data and purchase data in, how do you think about it?
Before we invest in a dollar, we make sure that are we going to invest in media that meets our criteria for our responsible media framework?
Yes.
Brand safe, brand
Very
suitable,
familiar with that framework.
Independent, third party, independently verified.
Yes.
That's critical, right? So if it checks those boxes, and we've also been working towards pushing standards, and transparency, the same thing throughout the industry, because that will help create a more sustainable business when we're investing in quality environments that ultimately is protecting our brands and the consumers. But that being said, if we're looking about our performance, the performance, we have the opportunity now to see how does an untargeted people 2+ buy do against a very targeted, buy with leveraging some high quality retail media data. So
and with in-flight optimization.
In-flight optimization. Yeah. So if you're going to, the performance, the outcomes can justify, is it worth paying a bump to get that performance?
Yeah.
So that's something that is, I would say, a fun part of what we get to evaluate with the more data, that more granular data we get to see across all channels, what is worth the investment. So it's, for us, it's certainly never been a race to the most efficient thing. We want the highest quality inventory that's brand safe, suitable, and performs really well.
Yes. Well, listen, when you have the highest mass reach marketers in the world talking that way, it's the tipping point, which is what we're saying, right? This is what we're all here to talk about. So it's cool to hear you talk about that, Aaron. All right, we only have a minute, so I'm going to ask you both to be brief. The thing you're most excited about 2024 in retail and connected TV. John, I'll start with you.
I think it's bringing the capabilities of performance to a format that typically had been thought of top of the funnel.
Yeah, amazing. Aaron?
Most excited about? I'm super excited about all the live streaming sports opportunities out there. I think, that's an opportunity to deliver experiences at scale, but also give the consumer a more, more personalized experience when they watch. So live streaming and sports, let's go.
I'm with you. All right, that's a great note to end on. Well, thank you all so much for your time. Thank you, guys.
You got it.